good, people? It's your boy Icarus Gray.
And it's your homeboy Wordplay TJ.
And this is the No Rhyme or Reason podcast, where we talk about everything.
Everything for no reason at all. And we're live.
Yeah. What's good, people? It's your boy Icarus Gray.
And it's your homeboy Wordplay TJ.
And this is the No Rhyme or Reason podcast, where we talk about everything.
Everything for no reason at all.
We back.
Yeah. And we got a lot to talk about.
We do.
What did I miss? He did. What did I miss?
Apparently the ice tray is melting.
Yeah. We'll get to that later. We're going to talk about KevOnStage and folks trying to cancel KevOnStage. And then we'll get into the IceMan and his IceMan booklet and what do all the mysterious symbols mean.
It feels like a Jehovah's Witness, like somebody just passing out a booklet.
I mean,
you're not wrong.
Well, I mean, in the booklet, what did I miss? You know? So
that song was not good.
So KevOnStage was on podcast with Cam Newton.
Funky Fridays.
And he said, you know, if my son is gay, I'm choosing him. And then, you know, folks kind of latched onto that. And so we're going to kind of listen to the podcast, have some of it on screen as we're watching through. We're going to pause it in moments where we think it's relevant. I'll just kind of let that be free flowing. And then we'll give some commentary in between, just kind of give our thoughts on that piece. So whenever you're ready, right. I'm ready, Freddie.
Here we go.
Speaking on controversy, right? Recently, some online discussions question your representation of Christianity publicly. Mm-hmm. There was a post that went viral warning podcasters to be careful with having you on their show. You, specifically, Kevin. A lot of people, including celebrities, came to your defense.
Yeah.
How do you process those type of situations happening for the world to kind of observe too?
Low-key, the first thing that I realized, Cam, I ain't gonna hold you, is like, the person who started that wasn't a big creator. And what I had to process first is like, my name is bigger than I realized. The tagging of me and talking about me specifically, good or bad, was enough that I was trending for like almost a week over there. And I didn't even say anything in the moment. It wasn't like I went viral for the video at the time and then I was trending. Like the video had been out he wasn't even talking about a specific video. So the first thing that I had to realize is like, Dan, you really gotta watch what you say, or not necessarily that I said anything I disagree with, but like whatever you say can become a topic of discussion. And more, I try to say that I'm not a celebrity,
right.
I'm not famous, but that's just not true. Because an average person, that clip, you know, that thread, that video, that TikTok wouldn't go viral if they were talking about somebody who's not famous enough for that to be, you know, worthy of posting. I thought it was interesting because I don't position myself as a pastor or teacher. Mm-hmm. I'm just a church kid. I'm not even saying you got to get your theology from me. You should not. I actually agree. Mm-hmm. You should get your theology from a theologian. I never can say that word right. But I think what it boiled down to is I've been pretty vocal about loving LGBT people. Mm-hmm. And that just doesn't go over well with a lot of church people. And it's just, I've been thinking about this a lot. And if I go to Judgment Day and God is like, Kev, let's talk about your love for LGBT people and all the things you said.
Spring's here, summer's coming. And
not the Macy's ad.
Come on, Cam. Come on, Cam. Come on, Cam.
This might be a good opportunity to kind of
pause and discuss.
Kind of maybe skip through to Kev's next point. Because he was going to finish his statement, and then we got cut off.
That right there is how you celebrate.
I don't
before the party
care about your stupid Macy's ad. Just hit.
Let's talk about your love for LGBT people and all the things you said. I'm going to take my chances with whatever happens. If he ends up being like, and I didn't like that, well, man, I thought I was going to go with love. Yeah. You know, the word Christian, the IAN in Latin means to be like. So a Christian is to be like Christ. To me, my understanding of the Bible, false teacher, prefacing it. False teacher.
Pause it. We've let a lot of this video go.
Yeah.
Let's start with the part where, like, I get there and I say, I'm just going to take my chances.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, I always agree with him. Like, I'm gonna take my chance with love, and the thing that your son said is the greatest of these is love. It's love for my brothers. I'm gonna go with, if I'm trying to be Christ-like, according to Kev, I'm also gonna go with the actions, and his actions were never, hey, let me tell you about why I don't like what you're doing.
Yeah.
Never. Like, no matter if it's adultery or whatever, it's like he would inform people to let them know that he knew of their whatever it was. Like, hey, you don't have to be false or fake with me. I see who you are, and I see that you can be better, redeemed. Like, you've been outcast by the same people who are supposed to love you or take care of you, and the widow and the orphan and everybody else. And yeah, it's one of those where I just agree with him as a church kid like him.
Yeah, I also agree that I'm willing to take my chances with caring for other human beings in a way that is important, that I feel that to care for them.
Mm-hmm.
I think for one reason is that if there is a judge, that's not me. You see what I'm saying? Like, it is not my job to chastise you for your life or who you are. So your life, your identity.
Mm-hmm.
It is not my job to decide whether or not your identity fits in line with my version of the scripture or my version of religion. Because, say, for example, like, what if your identity is what doomed you to a eternal, like, damnation or some type of, like, thing in somebody else's faith?
Facts.
You see what I'm saying? Like, it's not for me to decide what your afterlife or non-afterlife is going to be.
Yeah, and I think people also, spiritually, people miss the intentionality of everything, right? The thing people hate the most about, like, even what LaRussell was saying, and LaRussell said it so supremely incorrectly with his heaven sent message, whatever, is people miss the intentionality of the scripture, right? So if somebody is truly repentant, I'm not talking about somebody you just in your face lying like, I'm sorry I was a racist, I'm sorry I murdered, I'm sorry I was adulterous, and they're just trying to say it because they think that saying it will get them to heaven. That's not what anybody is ever talking about with this forgiveness thing. Or I'm going to say that's not what I'm talking about. It, by the scripture, is more so an actual repentant heart. Like, you actively change. Like, you don't want to do those things anymore. You are sorry for the things that you did. That person is welcome because you've actually changed. It's never to, like, excuse somebody's behavior if you have actually changed it and you actually believe in reformation and all these different things. So I'm not in a place where judging somebody based off of, like, my personal feelings on what I think your heart is, if that makes sense.
I think I take a similar but different take.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even feeling like it's my place to decide whether or not what you need to repent for.
Yeah.
Whatever is on that list.
Yeah. No, agree.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. No, I agree.
And repentance is something that I accept, not necessarily you need to accept. I don't believe that my faith has to be your faith and you subscribe to what I believe in order for your life to be determined by it. Like, it's really challenging for me to even go out and accept the fact that, like, there's a need for me to convert people or to
we talked
convince people to be within my own faith. Like, I don't even feel like that's my place. And so I think other people would disagree. but that's their disagreement to have. You know what I mean? So it's like everything that is yours, making it vicariously somebody else's doesn't feel right to me.
I think it's more so the method. Like I agree with. I know your feelings are, to me, based in like the method has been bad for a very long time. He talks later in the interview about there was this gay kid that was coming to his.
Well, let's let him.
We'll get to it.
Yeah, let's get.
Okay, let's get some more of it.
Just a nigga. That's all I am. Jesus led with love at every point.
That's crazy.
At all points. Even when the law, the adulterous woman, and listen, I'm not a theologian, so y'all can dissect this and say I don't understand. That's totally fine. The adulterous woman, the religious scholars try to catch him up. They say this woman committed adultery. The law says we're supposed to stone her. What do you say? And the legal thing, the right thing would be to stone her. But Jesus, in my understanding, came to do what was good, not necessarily what was right or legal. So he said, okay, let he who is without sin cast the first stone. So to me, you could have legally stoned her, but he chose the goodness of letting her go walk away unscathed. He was always with the sinners and the publicans and the tax collectors. These are the outcasts of society. These are people he spent time with. I think a lot of times, we want to be, we being Christians, we want to be the chastisers and then the correctors of people. Mm-hmm. I don't choose that path. I choose love over and over, partly because the main reason was very personal to me. I was raised, queerness is a sin, being gay is a sin. I was raised that way. And I remember when
the chastisers.
Yeah.
That's the part that I agree with him that I don't subscribe to.
No, and I agree there as well. I've been saying this for a long time. The craziest thing, especially because when he's speaking about it, you're speaking about the black church specifically, right? If you think by some degree of like naivete that the gay people in question, no matter who it is, have not heard that their lifestyle is a sin and your correction or all this other stuff has to be done, you're an idiot. Just point blank period. Like there's no spirit in you in regards to like your discernment or whatever it is you think, because that's just ignorant. Like everybody, everywhere, there are laws that are saying this, that, and the third. There, it's a political usage. Like there's all of these things that are saying how quote unquote bad you are, and if you think that that's what you need to lead with, it's weird. It's just a weird behavior, and again, it's a cultured behavior because that's what was done. You're talking 90s AIDS culture and all of the fear mongering that was based in just terror, trying to make them terrible people. Like even the Magic Johnson thing was a whole situation and just conversations about him, and like everything was propaganda.
Hold on. Terrible people. Terror.
Yeah.
The thing in my mind is that you want to create a fear of a person. Mm-hmm. You want to create a fear of a group or an identity, which is why some people say the LGBTQ movement. Like, I don't know if is there a cis straight movement? Like, I didn't know that you needed to have a movement for your identity in order for it to be validated. I think what I'm struggling with is that like creating a fear of other humans seems to be more of an issue for me than it's connected and it's rooted in ignorance. And that's the challenge for me, is that ignorance is let to fester. And I keep feeling this over and over again, and it keeps popping up in my head that like ignorance is evil in some ways.
Oh, in a lot of ways. I mean, you're talking about people who are the theologian, our pastor, I've heard of, basically said we're all Pharisees in recovery, which basically just means there are so many people who are as legalistic as the Pharisees were against Jesus today, and it makes no sense. Like, but you don't think you are. You think that by holding a standard that only you believe in, that you think about, that somehow you're like you're not you can't gatekeep God or heaven.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is that the fear that I'm alluding to makes me feel as if like people, let's say we're talking about like your close family members, right? And I think there's a fear that like I won't make it as a Christian. I won't make it into heaven.
Mm-hmm.
There's a fear that my family members won't make it, whether it be brother, sister, spouse, cousin, mom, grandma, whoever it may be.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a fear that like some other folks won't make it too, who I care about. And so I gotta make sure that they get there. And I think that fear is what drives a wedge between people having spirituality and not.
I think it's propaganda fear though, because you're not actually fearful of anything, right? I always tell people, like, you don't look at somebody who is overweight and if they believe in the Lord or whatever and go, you're not going to heaven. You just don't do it. Like, there may be, like, twisted people who do, so it's not like, but generally, that's not what happens. You pick and choose, propaganda-wise, what you want to use and how you want to use it. We all know the choir director trope within black churches. And it's like, you don't actually, like, it's predatory to use somebody's talent and purpose in the way that you do, and then try and shame them for things you don't, quote unquote, shame others for that you shouldn't be shaming them for in the first place. Like, you're going to live with whatever your sin is until we're not here anymore, because that's what a lot of the times reflects the fact that you need God, will continuously and always need God. There is no perfection or metric or level that you're going to reach. You just get better each day, but you're going to have something. Like, you're going to cuss somebody out for cutting you off on the freeway. You're going to get mad, get angry, go to sleep upset with your spouse. Like, whatever it is, like, these are all the things that you're going to have happen, and none of these are weighed heavier than the others. It's just not.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter what you do or how you feel about it. That's not how it's going to shake out.
Let's keep going.
I was born, I held him. You know, when I grew up, people was like, my son was gay, I kicked him out. Like, that was commonplace. Yeah. Remember when I was holding my son, he was premature, he was like 4 pounds, so he was about this big. He didn't even touch my elbow. His head was here, his legs kind of finished right here. And I remember holding him like, man, I'm so sorry. It don't matter who he loves. I'm not gonna kick him out. He don't have nothing but us. Like, at that, man, I didn't say nothing to church, to nobody in church about this. I just remember having this thought internally. When we talking about queer people are my family, my cousins, trans people are my cousins.
Can we make it, going back to us having I'm sorry to cut you off, but
it's all good.
For us to be from different places, different countries, different ethnicities, different states, different counties, different sets, different zones, different whatever. If you really in the culture, we all have that, at least one family member.
For sure.
That, let's just say, is questionable.
Right. Yeah.
And it's awkward to even discuss.
If you ain't in an open family, for sure.
You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. It's one of those things that I always grew up and I heard this statement. That's not of God.
For sure.
And to me, my curiosity.
Okay. I got to pause and quick call out, because I get what he's alluding to, but then there's also not just the person that is questionable, right? You also have...
Why are we calling him questionable to begin with?
I don't know. It's Cam Newton. Well, that you have feelings about that you they haven't come out yet is how I'll phrase it.
Yeah.
But then you also have, which is another joke within the black community, the predatory uncle.
Yeah.
That you do not kick out of the family for the things that they have done. And yet we're kicking out a person for their dating preference that hurts nobody, while this person has actively hurt someone in your family. Like, it makes no sense. It doesn't even protect you or your family, like, from what you think will happen. Like, at the end of the day, and the same thing with Kev, if all you're doing is wearing rainbow colored clothes and going to a pride parade, I would rather that than you traumatizing someone's life because you're being predatory.
Yeah.
Like, it literally hurts nobody. Yeah. You went to that parade, you came home, you put on other clothes.
Yeah, let's talk about kind of what Kev got into. I feel like Cam's kind of interruption just kind of stepped on his point. He said, like, I can't look at my son and say I'm gonna ever push you away.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that?
As a new father, I feel the exact same way.
Yeah.
Like, what do you want me to do? I for now until you leave my house or don't leave my house, am your provider, am your parent.
I would argue even like after, right?
Like I looked at you. I love you more than I even understand what love is, which is to his point, leading with love. Like when you're leading with love for your kids, like why is there anything that can separate you from them? Like even Jesus gives the parable of the prodigal son. Like you rejoice when the person comes back. You don't leave them. You keep the door open from them and the light on the porch. So if they come home, they know that they have a home to come to.
Yeah, and also they have to feel like they can come back.
Exactly. And so I just agree with him. I remember holding, like, I'm like in this place where it's just like, even though I know it's like a fallacy in my mind to be able to protect her from the world, but I'm going to try in a certain way of just like the world is not going to infect you in the ways, like they're not going to come at you in that way, or in rational ways is what I'm trying to say. But like, yeah, I agree. What do you think? Are you in alignment with that? I mean, I know that you're like, aspiring and all those things.
I mean, obviously, right? Like whoever is in my life, I want to make sure that like they're cared for. They feel appreciation, feel love, feel grace.
Yeah.
From me. And so I personally have never felt like I need to make my faith a barrier for my relationships with other humans. And I also don't, again, to beginning of this conversation, I'm not here to chastise. I don't even know what rules are going to apply to people beyond this life.
Yeah.
And because I don't know, I'm not interested in acting as if I do.
Right. And like you said, it's all about the action. So there's, I think there's a little bit more.
Is there? Well, I'm concerned about time, but I want to not miss out on something that you want to touch on.
I think there was like one more thing. Let's see if we can get to it real
always, but why? With my explicit,
Of course. In our, we grew up, absolutely.
You see what I'm saying? It was just like, type of world that goes back to art is square.
Example of how I saw love actually in my life work with somebody that was visibly a sinner, and the sinner in question was my brother. He had kids, he was shacking up, everything we all agreed was sinful. And he had not been going to church for years. And the church I was going to at the time, I remember church was from like 11 to 1, 1:30 or so. When he first started coming, he'd come at 1:15, sit in the back row. And everybody loved on him. Nice. Everybody knew he'd sometimes bring his son, all this stuff. And 1:15 became 1 o'clock. Love, love, love. Come to my house for dinner. Come here. We're going out. Right? He's standoffish at this part of his journey. Next thing you know, because people loved him out loud, here, come to dinner. 1 o'clock became 12:30. 12:30, love, became 12, became 11. Eventually, my brother was the superintendent of the Sunday school because people loved him from the back of the church to the front. In the midst of sinning this whole time, right? This whole time, over years, sinning this whole time, they loved him, made him feel
What does he mean by
from the back of the church to the front
He
of the church.
means, so you're still out here fornicating, shacking, stuff that you would say is bad.
Got it. Understood.
To eventually the pulpit. Now, that same church, there was a girl who was, I would say, masculine presenting. It was kind of understood that she was gay. Mom made her come to church. I don't care what you do. You're going to come sit on that third row. Right?
Third. Yeah.
The same church, she was not welcomed with the same love. So the third row became the fifth row, became the seventh row, became the back row. And when she could live her own life, she left the church. So I'm seeing—
And did not return.
Never came back. Never came back. One time when I was a youth pastor, this hit me even harder. There was a kid who was openly gay. Right? The teens are just invited. He's like, this is my homeboy from school. I told him we going, we playing basketball, we going to, Ocean Shores, we going to Space Needle. Like, it's fun for you. He came to church for a whole summer, right? I preach my same things, teach my Bible study the same way. One Bible study, Cam, one time, he goes to the bathroom, a deacon catches him on the way, he's like, you gay, why are you even here? You know that's a sin, right? Never saw the kid again. I didn't know this in the moment. Why are you even in here with that sin, right? 3 weeks go by, I'm like, yo, where's your boy? And she's like, oh, they didn't tell you? Like, one of the deacons was like calling him out, said he needed to go to the altar for prayer and all this type of stuff. Didn't know him, he felt uncomfortable, never came back. So in my life, I've seen how love and acceptance versus making people feel unaccepted and unloved, that brought them one person in and pushed 2 people out. So
like, that last point, right? That I like want to make, because this is one of those things as a church kid. PK, because he gets into that a bit later and jokes about it and stuff. But like, just being like, we was going to church all the days that you could go to church, and I was in all the programs and everything else. And being in a place where it's just like, it doesn't make sense how you treat people. Like, you cannot say to somebody, come as you are, and then what you're really saying to them is, come as I feel comfortable.
Come as I say you should.
Come as I say you should. And then, like, once you have, like, cleansed yourself, like, that's not even how the relationship works. That's not even how, like, things change. Like how you saying, like, y'all loved his brother in the middle of his mess to reconciling and probably being better and seeing by himself the quote-unquote flaws in his ways. Like, he self-assessed. Because the love gave him a space to know that whatever it was that he thought he was doing or needed to do was not, like, everything by his own personal relationship. You have to push the personal relationship and give an actual vehicle for people to be able to build their relationships versus trying to build your relationship for somebody else.
Yeah, and I think they're also going to show up because people care for them. And humans need a social circle.
Yeah.
Regardless if it's the church or outside of the church, nobody's going to come where they're not welcomed.
Yep.
And so I don't even think, right? So like it's sort of like the adoption of the faith is a byproduct of the positive relationship, not necessarily the other way around.
Yeah, like, you're not going out with pamphlets to, you shouldn't be going out with pamphlets. You should just be inviting, like, hey, we're having a cookout. Hey, we're doing this. There's stuff for the kids. Like, we do a trunk or treat at my church or whatever, like, doing stuff like that. Like, hey, there's a positive space. Like, kids don't really like all the spooky stuff all the time, but they can come in their costumes, get some candy. Come check us out on Sunday if you like.
Yeah.
But if nothing else, we want to do something that is in love for the community, a safe space for the community. So, yeah, y'all, you cannot cancel positivity. You just can't. Like, as much as you want to do it, it's not going to happen.
What did I miss?
IceMan cometh.
What did I miss? You know who used that title?
Who?
Ebro.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So we're going to go through the IceMan pamphlet. So for folks that don't know, IceMan himself, Aubrey Drake Graham, has
Drizzy
put up a whole thing in Toronto, a giant ice statue, if you would. It's not a statue, but it's an ice tower block that he put up in the middle of Toronto. He had people come by and see his ice block and the promotion of his new album, IceMan. And a day later, right? So I think it was put up on April 21st. On April 22nd, a streamer by the name of Kishka came by and climbed the ice block, broke into the ice blocks, and took a package. And inside of that package was a booklet of as Drake's team would say it, vibes. And the release date of IceMan. And so we're going to take a look at that booklet. We're going to kind of dive into some of the messages in it and see, what did we miss the first time around.
Man,
I'm going to keep doing that.
what did I miss?
Yeah. So let's go ahead and take a look. I'm going to put this on screen and kind of go through it. So let's start with the release date. This is coming out on May 15th. What do you think? Are you expecting that?
I think it's about time at this point. I'm still mad at Kendrick.
For what?
Like, if they had never beefed like they did, we would have got the fall off, and there would have been the fall off with some Kendrick verses on it, which I still, even though I love the fall off, think it might have been slightly better.
I mean, you may have gotten what was that song?
First person shooter.
Yeah, you may have gotten that with Kendrick.
Dog, if we,
you may have gotten that with all three of them.
yeah, I'm a little salty. And I get more salty about.
They had some stuff going on.
They had a lot going on. They've always had stuff going on. It's crazy to me that he even reached out, which means I don't know, either Drake is super tone deaf or he just didn't understand. Well, he is, but he also doesn't understand Kendrick. But
I think he tries to bygones be bygones, right? I think that's what he tries to do, maybe.
I think it was more business. I think, and what's crazy about it is I feel like that should be kind of respected between them, because y'all ain't as personal as fans make y'all out to be. Y'all just have each other's numbers and you're cordial and your acquaintances or whatever.
Yeah, rarely anybody is as close as people think they are.
I'm just more so I'm ready for this album to come out. I wish it would have came out earlier, because I think this one has a lot of weird expectations on it, which is just don't come out here talking about the beef. Please just make music. Because if you come out and talk about the beef, I don't want it to start again, because it's just not going to be good. It's going to end up in a place where I don't think it should. And you just need to get back to making good music.
Well, people are already making covers. They had Kendrick with the Fireman.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. And it's basically mention me once.
And then J. Cole was Waterman, I think it was. It was funny. So there's the date. This next panel says, there's a t-shirt that says 2025, and it's scratched out, will be my year. And it's replaced with 2026.
Which, again, further proves the understanding that Kendrick pushed everybody back, which to me says he got Taylor Swift power out here. And way more Taylor Swift power, because it ain't just a couple months. Y'all pushed back years off of this.
I have a question about the kind of release of this. You think Universal is gonna help him?
I mean, I don't think they have a choice. I mean, business wise, they are. I don't care if you did that losses against us and all this other stuff. You lost.
They're gonna try to recoup.
You lost. We're gonna try and recoup. But also, your negotiations are lower. It don't mean we're not gonna promote it, because we still want your money and the stuff that you provide. I think some random thing, and I want to look it up, was saying that Drake was the most streamed over Taylor and Bad Bunny, which I don't think is true, but I know he's up there. Yeah, I know he's up there, and it's you still up there. It's not like the girls who make captions with your songs and everything else that you literally talk to based off of our So Far Gone video.
I think he's third is where I last seen it. Back in January.
So you're not you haven't lost a step. All the things you still say to Universal are still true. So I feel like it's more like a stalemate. We're gonna promote it, but we're gonna recoup them fees, and then you'll tour and take it to where it needs to be taken.
Word. This next one, it's a news anchor. I'm not familiar with the face, so it might be somebody that people know. But the caption says, despite the first casualties, it seems to be a part of the game.
I mean, again, like that's him mentioning it and mentioning the beef in that way, but like it is what it is. I hope is what that means. Because again, do not start this up again. Your album will suffer.
I mean,
Trust.
will it?
1,000%. The album is out. Like you can't change it or reform anything. So if all like Kendrick can sit there with like a book of your like work and just cool. All right. I know what to respond to.
Yeah.
You lose
Okay.
twice.
Speaking of Kendrick, so we got IceMan that's iced out at the top.
Yeah.
Pinocchio on the left
Sexy Red
with the crosshair. I'm the Pinocchio is what I'm focused on, really. Right, this symbol showed up a lot during the IceMan live streams, and the actual Pinocchio character. So, like, what Drake is saying is people are lying on him.
Yeah, but also it's like at this point, the more you try and like defend it or push it, it just seems like it's just making it more like questionable. Even though I get why I would also be screaming from the rafters if I was not a pedophile or a groomer. Like I would be yelling because that's the allegations that are on you right now. But also it's kind of like, what is the purpose at this point? Like, are you just talking about your friends and all these other people? This is the environment that you created around yourself. Like, even on, like, you talk about this in a Kanye way on your first album. Like, you knew this stuff was coming, and I guess you just didn't believe yourself. Like, what did I miss?
Everything. Sexy Red feature.
Probably. I don't need no more rich baby daddies. I was like, oh, I hate it. Like, I hate. It's not for me. I get it. I know it's definitely, again, for the Sexy Reds and other people who do not care about nothing but
Right.
bottle service and VIP.
Snow without weather.
I mean, I think I got the face of the guy on here. I'm like, what? Like, okay.
Truth.
Cute,
That's Kish
I
Cash.
guess.
Kishka. Kishka.
Kishka.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I don't know what that means. Snow without weather.
I mean, maybe he's talking about girls in the bathroom doing lines. I don't know.
Could be. It's also, somebody also said that that's kind of like the font that was used on Kanye's what was the album?
Pablo.
Yeah,
Life
of
Pablo.
Pablo. I don't know what that means though.
I don't know.
Like,
I feel like Jeezy should use that.
well, I mean, let's say if people are speculating in a way that, yeah, Kanye is on this project, why? And you're already calling this IceMan in a time where like Ice is running around
The tone deafness of that
the
is
United,
insane.
right? So like, why add on more tone deafness? Aiden Ross is still in his orbit, so like that's even more tone deafness. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, there is no getting to him. So on the left hand side, there's a kind of an ad that says "Save Our Clubs," with an 80s-esque woman in the center.
It could be his mom.
It could be.
I don't know why.
I don't know. But on the right-hand side, there's, is that him? In a kind of cowboy outfit with some tombstones with a bunch of records on the tombstone.
Which is, again, probably to all of the people that he got platinum hits, I would presume.
Mm-hmm.
Like the death of you getting platinum hits or whatever. And I'm like, well, some of those people have also already done the things without you. But yeah, I get it.
I'm missing everything, apparently. Here's the kind of mock up of the ice blocks. I wanted to like kind of zoom in a bit. If I can I do that?
Oh, nice.
I was thinking like based off of the shapes, I wondered if I could like make out some letters on the side, but I couldn't really notice anything that was like kind of letter-esque that would spell any words. So it just ended up the blocks were like staggered in their stacking.
And the whole open after 22 is interesting, which is what happened. I mean, which to me says he obviously planned it with this streamer to do that.
Yeah, I think 100% he planned this with that streamer.
But I kind of like the little art chibi looking things, but okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, Aubrey.
Whatever. That's it. Overall, where are we with this project? What do you expect to hear?
I honestly expect to hear Prime Drake. I expect to hear a Focus Drake. Okay. I'm gonna keep it a buck because I'm thinking about it because I'm optimistic. Me wants a great album. Pessimistic me thinks that everything that people think is gonna be in this album is gonna be there, and I'm gonna hate it. Like you gonna do some random J. Cole diss for no reason. You gonna bring the beef back. You're gonna have way more singing than you should after what just happened to you, and it's just gonna be bad. Like you could literally make an album full of really, really great music. For All the Dogs did not go over how you wanted it to. To me, at least. I mean, it probably went over with the captions and everything else that you normally bank on. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think?
Based off of the live streams, I don't feel like I'm gonna be impressed. I'm probably not gonna enjoy it. And if I am, it's gonna be a surprise.
Okay, let's talk about what would we, in the optimistic lane, what would make this something that we would enjoy? I'm gonna go, for me it would be 60-40, like 60% rapping, you can do 40% singing. Like, cause that was my gripe with All the Dogs, is it was too much. And it's been too much for a while.
I think it has to be something like Nothing Was the Same.
Ooh. Okay. I can see that.
It has to be in that vein for me.
For me, I feel like it would have to be more like Take Care. Mm-hmm. Like you gotta, like I felt like that was a good mix of giving the work to R&B artists and like either singing with them and making really vibrant dance records and stuff, or even Certified Lover Boy, which I think was like the best of addressing things without like getting too deep into it when he was still in his, even though his diss me and you'll never hear a reply for it because I'm going to be subliminal about it. Yeah, that would probably be what I would want the most and get me back in the bag of like, okay, you are a great musician that you are and you're really crafting something. So,
word.
What do y'all think? Let us know down in the comments. Are you excited for IceMan? Are you sick of this promotion? Do you think it's going to be bad? Do you think it's going to be good? Please drop those things down there. Hit the bell notification so you can be notified for every time that we go live. And we'll see you in the next piece. 1 and a 2 and peace.